Hey guys, what is going on? This is the GTA Wise guy and welcome back to another GTA 5 video. Now in this one we're going to be taking a look at another unreleased car, and previously I asked you guys in the last video what car you'd like to see next, and in that video, which was the Weenie Izzy Classic video, I'll leave a link to that up in a card up here as well, you guys suggested the Flash GT. Well, the top comment was the Ford Focus RS RX, which is basically what this car is. It's pretty much Ken Block's own version of the Ford Focus RS, which he uses in some of his Gymkhana videos. So I'll be trying this out, see what the customization's like, try the handling out. I'm presuming the handling's probably going to be crap because it is Rockstar and they normally mess up the handling with these. We don't really have any proper drifting in the game yet. We have to make do with the mid-drive speed boost and all that sort of stuff. The actual drift hamper, that didn't really drift, so hopefully this is going to work as well. Now, as you guys know, I always do custom variants of cars. For example, this was once a Ruiner, which I turned into a custom version, which is basically like a 240SX. I put a Rocket Bunny kit on it. I've done tons of customization for this. I put pop-ups on it. And basically, I'm going to be doing the same for all of these cars. So you guys have put some suggestions for these three cars already. I'm going to be fixing the lights and stuff on the Jester. I'll be doing a wide body for the Dominator. I could be doing a Mr. Bean version of this car with a couch on the roof and you'll be able to sit on it. There's all sorts of things I can do, so let me know what I should do with this Flash GT down in the comments as well. What I would like to do actually is turn it back to stock, because obviously this is like a racing version. I would like to turn it back to stock and then put some more customization on it from there. I think that would be pretty interesting. It might be pretty difficult, but hopefully I can pull it off. But one thing I did notice, a little bit of detail, is these hood catches. Rockstar haven't used them before. The ones that they've normally used are these circular ones that you can see on the front here. So these are a new type of hood catch. You might see some more of these on the cars in the future. I know it's a tiny little detail, but just a bit of trivia. On my Ruiner, I did actually do a hood catch like that. I used it for the bumper as like a clasp to keep the bumper up on that Rocket Bunny kit. So just a cool little touch. So I'm glad Rockstar brought that in. I do like those hood catches. And obviously the interior is fully stripped out. You can see we've got a fire extinguisher. There's no interior on the back there. And the harnesses are actually clipped into the back. We've got some mad racing dials with all sorts of switches and stuff in it. And you can just see the steering column coming right out from the dashboard, which is a really cool touch as well. Do you like that dashboard? It's probably going to take some work to turn it back to stock, but regardless, I would still like to do that. So if you guys want to see it, let me know down in the comment section, and be sure to leave a like on this video if you do enjoy these videos to keep me pumping out more, so that I know that you guys want to see them. Anyway, without further ado, we'll get onto the customization and we'll see what the handling's like. So first impressions from the noise. What's it sound like? Okay, so it just sounds a bit raspy, nothing too fancy. And stock as well, actually, it's pretty quick. So it looks like it's got a lot of grip. I presume this is just going to be like the Rallycross version. They probably haven't done it for drifting like in the Gymkhana videos. I presume it's all-wheel drive though. Yeah, you see you can't really drift it. Right, let's see if it's all-wheel drive or rear wheel or front wheel. So it's only rear-wheel drive. It's not actually all-wheel drive, so that's kind of disappointing, because the Ford Focus RS is all-wheel drive in real life. The Gymkhana one obviously will be good for all-wheel drive, and the actual rallying version is all-wheel drive. So why they've done it rear-wheel drive, I don't know, but I will fix that. I will put my own handling on it. I'll probably do it in this video as well and see what my handling model's like on it, and we'll probably do some Gymkhana as well. Right, quickly before we go into Benny's, let's take a closer look at the interior. So this roll cage is quite cool, actually. I'm not sure if Rockstar have used that one before, or if it's slightly adapted from a different one. And you can see the dashboard actually, it doesn't go right up to the door, and the cage just goes right past it, which is pretty cool. We've got tons of dials on the dash, about 1 million switches, and we've got like a proper racing dash as well. That's pretty awesome. Is there anything different? No, that's it. Right, let's go and see what the customization's like. Right, bumpers, front bumper. So you can have a primary race split. I don't presume this is actually going to change the bumper. It's just going to be splitters. Yeah, it looks all like splitters. So we've got primary and secondary. Obviously, the primary and secondary are the same color at the minute. You can have a carbon race splitter. Primary paint track. So that track one puts some canids on the sides there as well. So I think we'll throw the canids on. Make it look a bit more race car. The skirt. Primary paint subtle skirt. So just a little lip at the bottom there. And then we've got the primary paint race skirt, so that just brings up like a little fin at the back. And we'll put the carbon race one on. We'll go full race car with this, obviously. No point trying to keep it subtle, because it's also got the massive RS wing on the back as well. That wing is actually pretty awesome. Wheels. Now these wheels, I don't think they really suit it. I'll see what Ken Block's actual RS-RX wheels are. Now, the actual Ford RS-RX wheels that Ken Block has on his car aren't very fancy. I don't really like them, so I'll probably try and do my own sort of wheels that'll go with this car. Now, 3-piece wheels do work well with this one. And now when it comes down to doing the custom variant, let me know what wheels I should do for it. If you've got any references, let me know down in the comments. For my patrons as well, make sure to jump into the Discord and throw any visual references in there for me to use. Now, of course, my patrons are the ones that make all of these builds possible. So if you'll consider supporting me, massive thank you to you and everyone who's supported so far. I do appreciate it. It keeps these custom builds coming. Now, wheels. We'll see what the livery's like first before we just start changing the wheel color. Chassis. So we can have a hood scoop, livery RQD. I presume this is supposed to go over livery. It's good that Rockstar have actually hinted that, look, this is supposed to go over certain livery. So we'll put that livery RQD on and we'll see what the crack is with that. So we've got those stock exhausts. They actually look pretty cool. They've got like a carbon surround on them. And then there's just like the main exhaust coming out through it as well, which is poking out a bit. That's actually a really cool exhaust. I hope Rockstar will use that on some other future cars as well. Got the twin exit ones in the middle. Big bore exhaust in the middle. That looks kind of odd. The side exits with chrome, so that looks pretty cool. That's sort of like the unicorn actual exhaust. I don't think it's like that on the actual car, so that is pretty awesome. And the side exits with carbon, so rather than a chrome surround, we've got a carbon surround there. That's actually pretty cool. But I do like those stock exhausts, so don't know. Actually, we'll go with the side exits with chrome. I think they look pretty cool. So with the hoods, we can get a stock carbon hood, so that just makes it carbon. We can do the classic sport hood, so that gets rid of all the vents on it. It's still got all the hood catches though. Classic carbon hood, so we can see there's like a little lifted bit on that one there, which you couldn't really see on the classic one. Then we've got a race hood, which is just like a main scoop in the middle, and then a carbon version of that as well. Because we're still going for a race car, I think we'll go with that race hood. Should we have it carbon? No, we'll see what the liveries are like first. Livery, so there's plenty of liveries for this. We've got classic stripes. And you can see we've got an American flag on the scoop there as well. So I imagine if you want to get rid of that, you'll have to use the secondary color one. Now I imagine it's got that American thing because I know that Ken Block's car has a lot of American inspired flag stuff on it, especially his Unicorn V2. We've got the classic race flags, classic flags with stripes. We've got the Zero RC4, so that's like a rallycross one. Another sponsor. I've never seen that. So that cell tower one I've never seen before, but regardless, it's a pretty cool sponsor. Pisswasser, as usual. RC2, another RC inspired one. These are all RC ones. Then we've got the GB41 with a junk thing on the back. That's actually a really cool livery. It's quite some strong designs on that. Junk 21, that's pretty awesome. So we've got the flames going all around the car pretty much. And then we've got the Rum Racing 11. So this is going to be like the Ken Block one. So this is similar to the Drift Tamper, the Rum Racing one. This is the Ken Block one. The Rum Racing one was the one that was ripping off the Unicorn basically on the Drift Tamper. So we'll throw that one on and then we'll change the colour to match what it should be. So we can have sun strips. We've got Vapid Racing, Chappelle. I'm glad that they've put Chappelle on there. I've used that on some of my own liveries before as well, but it doesn't really pop up. So I suppose that's sort of like Toyo tires. Hopefully that's how I think they'll be treating it. So we'll use the Chappelle one. We can also see we've got a rim paint sponsor on there as well. I've not seen that one before. So we've got spoilers. So we've got the stock one. We've got the livery stock wings. So that just applies a livery to that mad wing. So we'll put that one on for now. Got the carbon version of that wing, secondary paint street wing. So that's similar to the RSX one, but it's slightly different. It doesn't stick out as much at the back. Looks a bit more garage built than like manufacturer built, if that makes any sense. Different variants of that. And then we've got the secondary paint track wing. There's another big ass wang. The livery track wing. But we're not going to go for that one. We're going to keep it looking like the Ken Block one. So we'll leave the livery stock wing on. Suspension, obviously slam it down. That's pretty decent fitment for this sort of car. You don't want the wheels sticking out too much, obviously, with it being a race car. The actual height is pretty decent as well. Obviously, we've got to throw on all the turbo and transmission upgrades. It's got an RB26 styled one, which comes from the Carrion ones. Now, that is actually very flat. Now, it is very flat just in front of the engine there. It's obviously a side-mounted one, which makes sense. A lot of the all-wheel drive cars like this. I know that my Evo does have a latitudinally mounted. It's not longitudinally mounted. And then you've got obviously the transfer case and everything, which comes off to the right of that. So I would like to flesh that out a bit more, probably even put a gearbox in there, so when you look down, you'll be able to see like a transfer case and all that sort of stuff. So I would like to do that for the custom variant. Now the thing is with that engine bay as well, you can't see any exhaust ports, you can't see any intake on it. That does seem to be a bit lazy on Rockstar's part. I would have thought that with this being such a mad race car, especially all the detail that they put into the interior, they would have fleshed out the engine bay a bit more. Regardless, we'll move on. Primary color, right, let's change that. Let's make it like Ken Block's one. I think it's like a light blue that he uses for his car. Yeah, so it's like white and black, but then he also has that blue trim to it as well. So we'll probably end up going with that ultra blue if we can. Actually, what I might do to get some more white on there, I'll change that secondary, I'll change that spoiler to a stock one. Oh, we can't have a secondary livery wing, which is kind of annoying. But we can have the secondary paint track wing. But yeah, that's kind of annoying. Would have liked that wing to be white with the livery on. Regardless, it still looks pretty cool. We've got that ultra blue and the black on it. Right now, the trim color actually changes the padding on the roll cage. So we'll make sure that that's white. Right, so throw the ice white on there as well. I think that changes the seats. Yeah, change anything. So with it fully upgraded, we'll take it out, see what it's like on the street. We'll test it out performance-wise. Now with the full beams, just has those little lights down there as well. Now those actual headlights look pretty cool. It's missing a headlight texture on the left hand side. Am I tripping out or am I actually... Yeah, it's missing the headlight on the left. So there's a headlight there on the right, but no headlight on the left. Now I noticed a gesture as well. Someone pointed out to me that there's no actual headlight glass on the right hand side. And there's actually a missing headlight on the left. Now obviously the light corona pops up so you can see where the light comes from, but there is no actual texture that lights up. Rockstar need to up their QA game. They seem to be rushing these out a bit. They're not testing them fully. They've got bits broken on them. Especially the engine bay on this could have been fleshed out a bit more, but the rest of the car looks great. Now, actually, one thing I'm going to do before we set off is change the wheel colour. Wow, this car's quick. Now, I've just done some ultra blue wheels on it to suit the livery, and I think it looks alright. Some of you will say it's race, but it's a race car. We're doing that Ken Block inspired look, and he does do some mad looks to his car. Wait, was that headlight busted because I was crashed into something? No. That headlight is still not there, even though I've repaired the car. But yeah, you see I've smashed the right hand side there, and that's what the left hand side looks like. Either the normals are flipped on that headlight, like it's still there. I think it is still there. Now, when I say the normals are flipped, that means how you see the lights on it. The normals are flipped on it. So the headlight, you can see it is actually there. But the way games work is they have normal faces. Now, what I mean by normals is in a game, I know this from modeling, and I've had this problem myself a few times where I've not had the normals facing the right way. It's basically you'll have a plane, and you'll have basically when the light hits it, you'll see this side of the plane. But if you switch that plane around, there'll be nothing there. You'll just be able to see through it. You'll probably notice it with wall glitches. If you go through a wall, there'll be no back into the wall and no one will be able to see you. You can only see out of it. The same is what's going on with cars and everything. Obviously, you'll see the back faces to them, but that's because they've got another plane behind them. And then obviously those two planes with one normal facing that way, one normal facing that way, you get to see it as like a 3D solid object, and it's got two sides to it. You can even do that with a plane with two different planes, but you can never have one plane with two normals on each side. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not the best at explaining stuff like that, but that's basically how games work, and that's exactly the problem that Rockstar have done with this. Basically, it does exist, it's there, but the normal's facing the wrong way. You can pretty much see the light there, but it's facing backwards rather than the other way. So just a bit of a mistake by Rockstar there. Literally all you need to do is flip the normal and then re-import it, and that's how it'll work. So I'll make sure to do that when I do my custom variant. So just a bit of games design trivia for you there on how games work and how you see certain faces in games. Without further ado, we'll try out the performance. Now it is blisteringly quick. It is very easy to handle. Just casually weaving through police. This is really good at handling. Oh my god. This is a pretty quick car. I imagine this is what class is it in actually. It's in sports. This will probably do pretty well in sports. It's probably not going to be the best, just because we've tested out performance quickly there as well. Can it do the Major speed boost actually? Now the launch is actually really good, which is what I would expect from a car like this. It just jets off straight away. Now the mid-drive speed boost doesn't work, and basically you can't really drift in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my all-wheel drive and basically unicorn handling mod onto it, and then we'll have a mess around with it. We'll do some Gymkhana, and I might even do a full-on Gymkhana video. Basically a remake of one of Ken Block's Gymkhanas with this sort of car that he uses in real life. And without further ado, I'll swap over the handling files. So 5 minutes later, I'm back in the game. I've just switched over the handling files with my custom all-wheel drive handling mod. Now let's see if this works. Hey, yeah it does. So we've got the all-wheel drive handling mod. Let's see. Ooh, I'm going a bit downhill. But yeah, it definitely works. So we'll go for a bit of a Gymkhana hoon. Now I did do a remake of Gymkhana 10, I believe it was. Now I did do a remake of Climbkhana. Some of you guys might have seen that, where he had the Ken Block had the Unicorn V2, and he went up and down Pikes Peak. I did recreate that. If you guys want to see that, I'll leave that in a card up here now as well. And if you want to see me do a like Gymkhana 9 or 7 or 8 or whatever one it was where I used the Ford Focus RSX, let me know down in the comments section. I'm not even sure if you use the RSX or if it was just a Fiesta. Now, if this video gets a decent amount of likes, I'll know that you guys want to see it. So if you guys do want to see a custom Gymkhana with this car, using this all-wheel drive handling mod, let me know down in the comments section. And if there is enough attention for it, then I'll definitely go and create it. But it is certainly fun to use this car with the all-wheel drive handling mod. And we'll just try and get some impromptu Gymkhana going. Way! That was like perfect going through that little turn off there. We'll try getting into some alleyways, getting into some nooks and crannies, and some proper Gymkhana. Oh, I fucked that up. Oh, I'm not doing very good here. Hey! Ooh, bit of a scrape on the front there. Can we go through this car park around here? Oh no, there's too many cars in the way. Alright, I am a bit rusty. I haven't done this in a while, so I do apologise. Can we get through that archway? Will the car fit through there? Probably not. Nope, definitely not. Alright, now downhill with this handling mod is very difficult. Ooh, oh, I nearly had it. Now driving this little beast about, this handling mod is so cool. But why, Rockstar, don't you give us his handling? Now the only problem with this handling is it just goes way too quick. But you can see I'm already at 130, 150. See, that's the only problem with this handling mod, but I'm pretty sure that Rockstar could put this handling mod in and like sort of limit the acceleration in a straight line. But it's just down to whether they think it's plausible and whether they're going to make enough money from it. But imagine like a drifting update or something, where we just get a bunch of drifting cars, we can have drifting handling. Now, I haven't really played Smuggler's Run, but apparently the light aircraft actually has an option where you can change the handling for it. If we could just have an option like that in the customs, where we can just change it to like drag handling or drift handling or something, it would be so much better. So many people would use it as well. And not to mention the shark cards in terms of, I wouldn't even be bothered if it costs a lot to do it, because if it's going to be plausible for Rockstar and they actually let us have it in the game, then fair enough. I just at least want something where we can drift properly in the game, like with this handling mod. Oh boy! God damn it. Around some cars. Ooh, that was a bit of a tap. Just a bit of a tap. Way, buddy, that was sick. Rather than just doing some impromptu street drifting, I'll go to a course that I like to do in GT Online. Obviously, you guys can do this course as well. Just follow the route. This is my favorite course that I like to do. So, basically, you start here and then follow this course. So you want to enter about here. Go around this electric box. Oh! Oh, that was a bit of a crappy exit there, though. Around this electric box. Then round these containers. Around these containers, you want to get close on the front with these ones. That's where the clipping point is. And then around there, get outside to these containers. Ooh, it's close. Oh, no! Oh, and then I fucked that up. We want to try and get close to those barriers there. Front clipping point here. Try and get out wide over here. And I fucked that up. But basically, you come around these containers, and then you come back around to the start line. So we'll try that one more time. Move, bitch. Right, so we'll try one clean lap, and then we'll call it quits for today's video, shall we? Could have got in closer on that one. Scandy flick on the entry to the next one. Ah, clipped it a bit. Go out wide. Close to the containers. Close to the barrier. That's close enough. And there we go. I think that'll do. Way! And a bit of a stylish one for across the finish line. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, and if we get to at least 3k likes, I'll go and do a gym car and a remake using this car. And of course, be sure to support me on Patreon, as we'll be doing a stock version of this car, and then I'll be working on it from there. Basically turn it into a stock Focus RS, probably even do a 5-door for it, possibly. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe, as I'll be doing plenty of videos on the other unreleased cars. And yeah, that's pretty much all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.